And good evening, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good night, and welcome to semifinal number 1, match number 29 here on MVG's Grand Slam 2023. Dave Stanish along for the ride with you one more time. Come to you live from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and my buddy in Indiana, Mr. John Bergman. How are you tonight, sir? John?
Oh.
Well, John is working on everything right now, but Jose, Mr. Statman, how are you tonight?
I am doing great. I am looking forward to taking down the stats for these next few matches. We got some promising ones lined up here.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been talking about it ever since the Sweet 16 became the Elite 8. Please don't sue us. These were going to be can't-miss matches, and they have so far lived up to the hype. Once we have the brackets in front of us, I can explain how this is going to work. But as you can see, it'll be Jason Meyers, the number 4 seed, against Travis Coulter, the number 8 seed. And I wanted to get John's thought on this because Travis swept him 4 rounds to 0, although that's not exactly the format that we use, but that's what our graphics talk about. And Travis was absolutely on his game that night, deserving of that 8 seed. And John knows that he struggled a little bit, but Travis full marks for the win as number 8 Coulter versus number 4 Meyers here in semifinal number 1. Jose, your thoughts on how Travis beat John in our first quarterfinal a couple of weeks ago?
I'm not gonna lie to you. When we were getting into that matchup, I was honestly expecting a totally different outcome than what we saw that night. I was genuinely stunned when I saw that Travis not only beat John, but went on to shut him out. But even then, neither of them can be upset by the progress that they made.
No, absolutely. As I said, when we have our information, we can talk about that Jason defeated 2 different AJs to get to the final. AJ Van Mittendorp in round 1 and AJ Richards in round 2. And then a very impressive but ultimately second place performance for Ryan Westling against Jason in a very interesting quarterfinal. I believe you were doing stats for that matchup as well about a week ago, correct?
Oh, yeah, I was.
Can you explain what your thoughts were on that particular contest that evening?
Well, first of all, I vividly remember, I think some of us were confusing Ryan's name with Peach all of a sudden at times.
I don't know who that is.
I believe that. Oh, you don't know? Well, I think it's best you don't know then.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, we've talked about how difficult this is. You and I both participated in this event and both got eliminated in the round of 16. Yep. These matches have been excellent to watch, but the difficulty has just ramped up even more. The first round with the jackpot style riddles and the other 3 rounds 2 and 3 and 4 that are carrying a similar format. If you've seen our previous matches, everything is the same as it has always been, but the difficulty and the requirements to get a correct answer have been amped up as we go along. These 2 guys are about ready to go and probably tired of me talking because the butterflies are probably flying around in their stomachs. So for those of you live and on demand, for now and forever, let's go to the floor for semifinal number 1, round number 1, to our question man. Take it away.
Question man.
Players, take your positions. All right. First of all, players, I would like to congratulate you on making it to the semifinals here. Of course, whoever wins tonight will be making it on to our first ever championship game here of Grand Slam. So tonight is a big one. So, of course, as you remember, our first round here is our teaser round. These teasers have gotten harder as we have progressed on through the rounds. Remember, these are jackpot-style riddles. I do offer the thought, slow your thinking down here. Listen to the clue as it's written. There's basically 2 clues in one to help you get the answer. So yes, that is our round 1 here. Do remember, players, that you have 3 switches to help you along the way in the first 3 rounds of play. That is total, not for each individual round. So use those wisely. Now, Jason, as being the higher overall seed, you got to decide who was going to go first, and you've chosen to go first in rounds 1 and 3. So with that being said, Jason, are you ready?
Yes.
Then, Jason, your time begins now. Perhaps something on your skin or a spy buried deep within.
Mole.
Correct, Travis. With time, it chronologically transforms. Done to an object, it materially deforms.
Erosion.
No. For computer files and politicians, at least some, it's what they might possibly become.
Garbage.
No. For length, area, and volume, respectively, the corresponding numbers are 1, 2, and 3.
The exponents.
No. To search for the meaning of life, this you may consult. It ignores religion or philosophy to provide a literal result.
Pass.
A payment you may ask for or from others demand, a warning to receive, always beforehand.
Fine.
No. A political or social grouping around a common vision. Also think of progress in motion or a symphonic division.
Pass.
By an orthodontist custom made, bite your lip
Hey.
into a lawyer. Time is up. And with that, Jason, you have won the first round here, and you will be carrying 1 minute, 21.829 seconds along with you into the final round. Back up to our booth.
Well, Jason was 1 for 1, as Jose. That wasn't too difficult on the stats area, but I think we were all a little bit surprised when he chose to go with these riddles for round 1, because we've seen how everyone has struggled, all 32 of our players, with that particular aspect of this game. But unfortunately, it was 100% versus 0% in that round.
Yep, you are right. Because, like you said, Jason only had 1 question that round. He got it right, and after that, Travis unfortunately went 0 for 6.
All right. Well, 90 seconds is the rule for each round. If you've never been with us before or you're trying to catch up, it's the best accumulated time after all 3 rounds of what's left over, plus the minute 30 you're given in round 4. Whoever runs out of time in round 4 is the ultimate loser of the matchup. But we've seen people who've struggled in the opening round with the riddles dominate rounds 2, 3, and 4. So anything is possible, but Travis does have to go first, and no switches were used.
Nope, each of them still have all 3 remaining going into round 2, which it's going to be quite the tough one here, because I believe it's the odd one out round.
Yeah, we have to be a little careful in our criticism, because both players can hear what we're talking about. So
Yeah.
we don't want to give away too many clues to future players who might be listening or watching. But we'll have a full analysis after the grand final, which should be absolutely outstanding, which will feature one of these 2 competitors that, again, are probably tired listening to me talk. So let's go to round number 2, and Travis will begin. Question man, take it away.
Oh, question man.
Players, take your positions. Players, here in our second round, this is the odd one out round. In this round, you'll be asked a question with 4 possible answers. You're going to be looking for the answer there that does not belong. So do pay close attention to that. Of course, as an update on your switches, no switches were used there in the first round, which means both players still have all 3 of their switches remaining. Here in this round, Travis, you will be going first. Are you ready?
Yes.
Then, Travis, your time begins now. Which one of these was not the name of a NASA space shuttle? Discovery, Explorer, Enterprise, Endeavour.
Enterprise.
No. Which one of these is not among the 7 most consumed fruits in the United States? Pears, bananas, apples, grapes.
Pears.
Correct, Jason. Which one of these is not a sacred text of a major religion? Remora, Vedas, Torah, Tripitaka.
Vedas.
No. Which one of these animals is not found exclusively in Africa? Lion, rhinoceros, gorilla, gazelle.
Gorilla.
No. Who did not serve as vice president? Richard Nixon, Thomas Jefferson, Harry S. Truman, Woodrow Wilson.
Truman.
No. Which one of these is not the name of a U.S. military drone? Predator, Global Hawk, Reaper, Microraptor.
Reaper.
No. Which one of these is not the name of a prominent 20th century scientist? John Roger Stevens, Niels Bohr, F.H.C. Crick, W.K. Heisenberg.
Quick.
No.
Quick.
Which one of these is not the name of an iconic movie character? Harry Callahan, David Jones, Gordon Gekko, Jack Sparrow.
Gordon Gekko.
No. 3 of these words have their origins in the same foreign language. Which one doesn't? Mosquito, alcohol, algebra, coffee.
Coffee.
No. Which one of these states does not have a population above 1 million? New Mexico, Vermont, Utah, Idaho.
Utah.
No. Which one of these plays was not written by Shakespeare? The Merry Wives of Windsor, Henry V, Antony, and time is up. Exactly what was talked about in the booth. Travis, you have won this round, and you will be carrying 1 minute, 8.339 seconds along with you into the final round. Back up to the booth.
Boy, have the tables turned on this round.
110%. Just if you look at the graphic of the history of this, Travis swept his last 2 rounds against John Bergman and Michael Bombardier in the round of 16 and the round of 8. He did defeat James Doe in one of the most competitive first round matches about a month ago, and each competitor won 2 rounds. So certainly check out those archives. But Travis has not lost a round 2 in a long time, if not ever. So well done to him, and we'll get the thoughts of both players after the contest. I don't want to speculate on anything specific until we've talked to them.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Who is that? I see. Is that John Bergman? He's here.
Yeah, sorry.
Well,
it was my internet again. But listen, that's fine. I'll get off.
No, don't worry about it, man. Oh,
thank you, John. Well, we'll definitely get his perspective a little later on because he'll be watching the stream and maybe he'll come on the post game show. But give us the exact numbers, please, Jose.
Well, it was almost deja vu in the opposite direction because Travis went 50-50 with 2 questions total, 1 right, 1 wrong. Unfortunately, Jason went 0 for 8. But still no switches were used in that round, so they still have all 3 going into round 4, or 3, excuse me, the sequencing round.
And you know what? I think we'll talk about it later, but in specificity. But as the games have gone on, and I think the players have realized how important they are and what the trick is to the switches. We won't spoil it because, again, both players can hear us. But I mean, basically, when you total everything up, essentially the differential is about 8 or 9 seconds. Round number 3 coming up. Let's not waste any more time, and let's get these 2 players back in. Jason will begin round 3. Question man, off we go.
Question man.
Players, take your positions. Players here in our third round, this is the sequencing round. In this round, you'll be given a question with 3 possible answers. You are going to put them in a specific order based on what the question asks you for. So please pay close attention to that. As a reminder, with what Jose told us, both players, you still have all 3 of your switches. I will remind you, you do not have to burn all of them in this round. Anything that you don't use will go with you into round 4, where you will be given an additional one. So do keep that in mind. Now, with that being said, Jason, you will be going first in this round. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Then, Jason, your time begins now. Arrange these cities by their number of champion sports teams between 2010 and 2020, most to least. New York, Chicago, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, New York, Chicago.
No. Arrange these by body length, longest to shortest. The giant squid, the great white shark, the killer whale.
Shark, whale, squid.
No. Arrange these evolutionary events earliest to most recent. Whales adapt to the sea. Dinosaurs become extinct. Insects first develop wings.
Insects, dinosaurs, whales.
Correct. Travis. Arrange these dictators by how long they ruled, longest to shortest. Stalin, Mussolini, Mao Zedong.
Stalin, Mao, and Mussolini.
Correct. Jason. Arrange these favorite foods in the U.S., most to least popular. Pizza, steak, hamburgers.
Pizza, hamburger, steak.
No. Arrange these categories by their price increases between 1990 and 2017, highest to lowest. Medical care, college tuition, all consumer prices.
Prices, medical, college.
No. Arrange these by the number of species found in Yellowstone National Park, most to fewest. Mammals, birds, fish.
Mammals, birds, fish.
No. Arrange these
Switch.
artistic... Travis, arrange these artistic periods chronologically. Baroque, Renaissance, Gothic.
Renaissance, Gothic, Baroque.
No. Arrange these by length, longest to shortest. The U.S.-Mexico border, the Nile River, the Great Wall of China.
Wall of China, Nile, and border.
Correct. Jason.
Switch.
Arrange these... Travis,
Switch.
arrange these...
Switch.
Jason. Travis, arrange these by annual attendance, highest to lowest. The Baseball Hall of Fame, SeaWorld, Graceland.
Baseball, Graceland,
No.
SeaWorld.
Arrange these by total
Switch.
height. Jason, arrange these by total weight, heaviest to lightest. 1 baseball, 3 tennis balls, 5 golf balls.
Tennis, baseball, golf.
No, time is up. And with that, Travis, you have won the third round here. You will be taking 32.367 seconds along with you into the final round. Back up to the booth.
Well, everything keeps changing and turning and evolving, and now Travis has won 2 in a row. Again, he hadn't lost a round 2 or a round 3 in his previous matches, so this isn't a huge surprise. But
And
Jose,
for those folks at home who are banking on a switch battle happening in that round, congratulations! Your payouts will be coming to you shortly.
yeah, we'll
Man,
certainly talk about that more in the post-game show. But yeah, the switches finally got used, and the efficiency is up for debate. But each competitor gets an additional switch. I thought the questions were very daunting. I wouldn't have known hardly any of those either. So well done for those guys for working out the possible answers. And what do the numbers tell you?
Completely different than the last 2 rounds, that is for sure, because in terms of questions, Jason had 4 total, got 1 right and 3 wrong, whereas Travis also had 4 questions total and went 50-50, 2 right and 2 wrong. And as you said, they each get 1 switch going into this final round, so they'll only have 1.
Okay, so how many switches for each competitor with the additional one for round 4?
They used all of them.
Both of them used all of them.
Both of them used all their switches, so they only have one remaining to use in this round.
All right. Now, this round 4, again, if you're just joining us for the first time or haven't seen it in a little while, this is general knowledge. This is A to Z, aardvarks to zebras and everything in the middle.
Yep.
And it could be anything and everything. So keep that in mind as we go along. But the pattern will continue for previous round 4s. And Question Man, why don't you tell us the exact time that both competitors will start round 4 with, and whoever runs out of time in this round, they are the loser of this semifinal.
Yep, wild card round time. Question Man.
The last time, players, take your positions. All right, so just wanting to confirm, and I would like the players to confirm this as well, that neither player had a switch left. Jason, do you confirm that you remember using all 3 of yours?
All mine were used, yes.
Travis, do you confirm that all 3 of yours were used?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
And that's why I'm glad. That's why I'm glad. Well,
for sure.
I asked that because, and it gets rapid fire in there, and some of you out there watching may wonder that they was so rapid fire. I had felt like there was one unused, but that's why I rely on other people to help me with that. So, again, as we come into this round, this is the wild card round. Questions here that are asked could be absolutely any category, so you will need to be prepared for that. As we just talked about, all your switches were used. You're given one extra switch here in round 4 to help you kind of finish things out. So you will have one switch each, and that is all. We'll look at you first, Travis. You were able to bank a total of 1 minute, 40.706 seconds, which rounds up to 1 minute and 41 seconds. We add that on to your base time of 1 minute 30, which gives you 3 minutes and 11 seconds to use in this round. Jason, you were able to bank the 1 minute, 21.829 seconds, which that rounds up to 1 minute and 22 seconds. Added on to your base time, giving you a total of 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Of course, as stated earlier, whoever still has time remaining when the other player's timer has run out, that will be who wins and moves on to our championship game. Best of luck to the both of you. Travis, you will be going first here in this round. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. With that, Travis, your time begins now. Give me 4 corporate names or brands that start with the letter A as in apple.
Pass.
Benjamin Franklin once said, at 20 years of age, the will reigns. At 30, the wit. At 40, the blank. Is it sarcasm, wife, or judgment?
Sarcasm.
No. Select the 2 gemstones belonging to the same mineral family. Ruby, sapphire, topaz, emerald.
Sapphire and emerald.
No. What place is defined in this old common European joke? The chefs are English, the police are German, the lovers are Swiss, the mechanics are French, and the whole place is run by the Italians.
Pass.
All right, give me 2 out of 3 correct answers. The first one, T.S. Eliot play, Murder in the Blank.
3.
No. Elton John hit song, Crocodile Blank.
Tears.
No. Think of a 6-letter bird that ends in P-I-E.
Magpie.
Correct, Jason. By adding Robert to the surnames below, how many famous people do you get? 1, 2, or 3? Pynchon, Liechtenstein, Schumann.
2.
No. The word berserk is derived from a Norse god, the German for crazy life, or a tropical plant.
German for crazy life.
No. Think of a 7-letter concert that ends in FIT.
Benefit.
Correct. Travis. Select the 2 elements combined to produce salt. Selenium, sodium, chlorine, bromine.
Sodium and chlorine.
Correct. Jason. The infamous Golden Triangle drug region covers parts of 3 Asian countries. Name 2 of them.
China and Japan.
No. Need 2 out of 3. Figure out what any 2 sets of initials stand for. The first one is OPEC.
Pass.
Second one is WTO.
World Trade Organization.
Correct. The final one, NASA.
North Atlantic Space and Aeronautics.
No. Irving Berlin's White Christmas begins with, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen. What's the next line?
Well, you hear rain.
No.
Rain.
All right, 2 out of 3 correct answers. Iconic Honolulu landmark, blank head.
Diamond Head.
Correct. Played Don Draper in Mad Men, John Blank.
Pass.
The final one, David Bowie classic, blank Genie.
Pass.
Okay, say 5 words that end in a double F.
Pass.
Name the first and last countries to appear in an alphabetical list of all countries.
Zimbabwe, the last one, and Armenia, the first one.
No. Subpoena is Latin for lesser witness, under penalty, or below oath.
Under penalty.
Correct. Travis, give me 1 word that contains 3-letter D's as in damn.
Dilapidated.
Correct. Jason, give me 3 words that begin and end with the letter N as in Nancy.
Noon, none, non.
Correct. Travis, where exactly does 0 degrees latitude intersect with 0 degrees longitude? In the Atlantic Ocean? In the Sahara?
Atlantic Ocean.
Correct. Jason, 2 out of 3 correct. The sea and scuba.
Contained.
Correct. The D in
Switch.
radar. Travis,
Switch.
D in radar. Jason, the time is up, and with that, Travis Coulter, you have won today's matchup of Grand Slam, and you will be moving on to our championship game. Congratulations. Back up to the booth.
Wow, wow, wow.
Travis has taken down another. Wow.
You know, it was funny, Jose, because basically, like, one player struggled for about a minute, and then the other player struggled for about a minute. Like, Travis's first wrong answer basically cost him the entire time that he had gained in the first 3 rounds. So essentially, it was tied after that first
Right.
question. It was just a roller coaster back and forth. Unfortunately, I think like these questions were insane. Like 5 words ending in a double F. I could think of 1, and like let alone trying to think of 4 more. So, well done to these 2 individuals. And Travis does move on as the 8th seed. He defeats number 1 and number 4, and he will be in our big final very, very soon. Elliot and Kevin will face off to determine who will face Travis in the championship match. As we always do, the runner-up comes and joins us upstairs first. Mr. Meyers, your thoughts before we get into some more detail.
I can feel every vein throbbing in my head right now.
Well, I have to
for the
admit,
record.
yeah, what amazed me was what absolutely amazed me in rounds maybe 3 and 4 was you were you were completely unlucky on the multiple choice questions. Like even at random, someone was probably going to get 2 or 3 of those, and unfortunately, the randomness just didn't work out for you. Was that maybe where the frustration maybe started to set in a bit?
I think the frustration set in on the question of giving 5 words that ended double left, because I could only think of 2, and that was buff and rebuff. I couldn't think of 3 more. It's like there's no fucking way.
Well, I have to admit, when it comes to Jose, maybe you have some thoughts on this as well. Was there any sort of reluctance to use that first switch, not only the first switch of the match, but the only switch of round 4? Because basically at that point, what I have noticed is that the person who gives up the first switch is at a huge disadvantage. I don't know if you felt that way, or if the pressure of may have tried to work in your favor by giving it up first.
I just trying to regain my composure, and then I happened to see out of the side of my eye the time winding down. I was like, I gotta switch. I gotta say something, and then he switched it back on me. I was like, well, there goes the game.
Well, I have to admit that I'm looking forward to the championship match. Not only that, but for Turd Ferguson, our question man, to go over all the answers that everyone missed throughout the entire event, because he's holding those back, which he should, because he may use them later. But I can't wait to find out what the correct answers were. Jason, your thoughts on Travis and his chances in the next round?
I mean, anybody out there that's sleeping on Travis, y'all need to smack yourselves in the back of the head. Don't ever sleep on Travis Coulter. I learned that the hard way. I mean, he's moving on, and now I'm watching from the sidelines. Travis, if you don't win this whole thing, there's going to be some answers that need to be revealed soon.
I don't believe.
Yeah, Jason, you were 11-1 in those previous rounds, and so neither one of you had lost to round 2 or round 3 in your previous 2 matches. Jose, why don't you go to the stats, and then we'll bring up the semifinal winner, I should say.
Jason, you had a total of 11 questions in that round. That final round, 3 of them you got right, 8 of them you got wrong. Still, though, you cannot be ashamed of the performance you pulled off to get to this point.
Yeah, I'm just going to be sitting there with the dictionary in my lap trying to find every word that is a double left now.
Well, those questions are very difficult, and I think any of our
don't get me started on tough TUFF. That's not in the dictionary.
Yeah.
One night
well,
we need to still stay on the air.
Right. Honestly, any of our 32 players would have struggled with a lot of those questions, and even in your last 10, 15 seconds, you did get a correct answer, but unfortunately, Travis was able to flip it over, because he may have burned that entire 10-minute 20, and you could have won with 5 seconds, but that's just how the randomness of the order of the questions went. But Jason, we appreciate your time, and we'll bring up Travis when he's ready.
Right.
Yeah.
Give it up to Jason Meyers, one of our big semifinalists here today, guys.
Hey, Jason, end of the day, you at least get to go back to your booth.
First, I need medicine.
A mild
You can go back to
constellation.
the booth and beat up Jose.
There you go.
Oh,
Well,
God.
I mean, I think all 4 of us would agree that the stress and is high. The heart is beating a mile a minute, and there's not a big cash prize at stake at the end. But this is has been as high impact of an event as we could have. Travis, how is your heart? Is it finally starting to get back to normal?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, from the first round, I gotta say, I was probably shocked when he had elected to go first. I was like, okay, so most people they've been kind of taking that second one slow, because the riddles are really tough on a lot of people, and and like, okay, so he's reading the first one. It's like, and I knew that one, and then it's like, wow, the rest of them, I couldn't get them. And like, so it started to build, but then I guess it sort of started to come. It weighed out. Well, I gotta find the right words. It started to balance back out after the second round, and then I guess after the third round, I didn't think I was really necessarily out of it, even though I had more time, because I knew I was going to be starting first, and if you can't get a correct answer, you're still going to be sitting there with your clock ticking down. So
Yeah,
I think that. I think, playing the who goes first in which round, that's a big thing, and the switch strategy is definitely a big thing in this whole tournament.
absolutely. Jose, why don't you just total up all 4 rounds of stats while I keep asking Travis a couple more questions. Yeah, like I was saying after round 1, that no one should feel like they were out of it despite how round 1 went. Were you mentally sort of trying to recover, or did you have the confidence that you could roll with rounds 2, 3, and 4 based on your previous success in those rounds?
I felt that, I definitely didn't want to give up. Losing a round I felt like, that's sort of a landslide amount of time at that point. Like, when you're collecting, more than a minute, that's a good chunk, and you have to be able to run that off of somebody's clock in a later round. You're definitely going to have to be prepared, or you're going to have to hope that they're going to have as much of a tough time as you did.
Right.
And those are things that you can't always bank on happening. So it's always changing. So it's interesting.
Yeah, and I think a lot of players, both who have been eliminated and the 2 that are in semifinal number 2, Elliot and Kevin, will certainly be paying attention how this went. How did you feel when I assume your confidence went way up when Jason gave you the first switch, both in round 3 and round 4? Did you feel like you kind of had him on the ropes at that point with the switchbacks?
Well, I mean, a little bit, yes, kind of, because seeing how, previous switch strategies go, I would definitely say that if you use it first, they're almost there better be a good, it's got to be a good feeling, because most of the time that as soon as somebody switches, the other person will switch back, and that's just sort of I'd rather not try to cancel them out that way. If I could pull out a correct answer, that's a lot more useful to then, really change the weight of the switch. Because if you can change the weight of the switch and change the clock, then it's a whole new battlefield at that point.
Yeah, definitely. I think the switches, if you're ahead by 30, 60 seconds, if you're behind by 30, 60 seconds, if you're pretty much tied together, the strategies with switches can be fascinating for the viewer and like I said, extra stressful for the players. Jose, do you have those 4-round combined totals, perhaps?
Well, I don't, but I do have the statistics for this final round.
All right, please. Anything else that we haven't mentioned already?
Well, Travis, you got a total of 9 questions that round, 4 right and 5 wrong. So either way, very close percentages between the both of you, but you were the one that got the more correct answers, and ultimately that ended up being the reason you're here now and in the final. So,
well, congratulations to Travis. Any thoughts on being in the big final and the 2 competitors that you have a 50-50 chance of facing in that big final?
Well, I know one is a speed titan and one's the trivia titan, so I have my hands full either way. I don't know who I want to see. I think I'd rather flip a coin at this point, because it's going to be either player on either side at this point.
All right. Well, congratulations to both players for reaching the Final Four. I know that there's 28 individuals like Jose and myself who would have been thrilled to get to this semifinal stage, and we appreciate you guys working hard at 2 o'clock in the morning, but being as aware and alert as you can, and giving correct answers that probably a lot of people wouldn't have gotten. But I think our next game show should be after Grand Slam is everybody gets 30 seconds to answer these questions, and maybe work as a team rather than up against a firm clock, just to see if these questions can actually be answered, because they are very entertaining and they certainly cover a wide variety of topics. Jose, thank you so much for helping us out with our stats tonight. Question man, any thoughts before we close out semifinal number 1?
You know, I think people, and I'm not saying Jason did, but I think people have continued to take Travis for granted. And it all goes back to the very first match that he played against James Doe. That is the one place that Travis lost any matches, or any of the individual rounds. Since then, he has went on an absolute tear, and it doesn't matter who he's went up against. And every time it's I think he's running out of steam. He's going to run out of steam after this one. And the thing is, you got into the night. Round 1 goes, and Jason steamrolls him in round 1. You're like, all right, here it goes again. He's losing the steam. And then Travis turns everything and everyone on the head and just kind of plows right on through. And here he is moving on. And we'll go ahead and pop that bracket up there real quick again for everybody to see. He has now moved himself in to the first of the 2 seats in the championship game. Everybody will see that Jason's down there to the side, probably wondering what's that. We will have a special 3rd place game that we will play between Jason and whoever loses between Elliot and Kevin. That'll be kind of the appetizer before the main event of the championship game. So that stream will probably wind up working out to be a little bit longer for that. But yeah, Travis just had it rolling tonight at the right times. I kind of took a look into the old box scores, if you will. Jason before tonight had went 11-1 in all of the different rounds. The only time he had ever lost anything was the very first round in the very first matchup that he had up against AJ Van Mittendorp. And that was all. After that, he had won 11 consecutive rounds coming into the night, then won the first one, had 12 in a row, and then he went on a losing streak at the wrong time. Travis had actually come in, even though people's kind of overlooked him, he come in having won 10 out of his 12 rounds that he had played in. So, yeah, just amazing what had happened there. Travis deserves it to go on, and now the question's going to wind up being asked in the coming days and the week or so to follow before the championship game. Can Travis Coulter be the first person ever, partly because this is the first ever Grand Slam, to be the first person to win both Game Show Marathon and the Grand Slam tournament all in the same year? That would be its own special kind of trophy that he would have to have coming to him from MVG Productions overall. But
yeah, that's definitely 2 different sets. That's definitely 2 different skill sets, is to be able to master all those different kinds of game shows, and on the marathon side, then be able to dominate and win this event as well. Maybe these are 2 of our 4 Grand Slam, not to steal the name, but our 2. Some of our majors, let's call them, throughout the year, that because you introduced this Grand Slam tournament, the marathon is certainly another one of those majors, and maybe this can be the start of some other majors like golf or tennis has throughout the year. But on behalf of everyone who was on the air tonight, the players, and Turd, our question man who organized this whole thing, has done a masterful job from day one. We thank you so much for watching, both live and on demand on our YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications for live events, and thank you so much for watching MVG Productions, not only with Grand Slam, but everything else that we do. And we'd love to see you here again next time. Thank you so much, and we'll See you for semifinal number 2 in the next few days. Thank you for watching.
This was an MVG production.